Hey there. I'm here with an important public service announcement for all of my online entrepreneur friends. For the love of all that is holy, stop sending boring weekly emails. I don't know about you, but I'm on a lot of people's email lists, and the emails that come into my inbox day in and day out put me to sleep. They have me saying, why am I on this person's list? You don't want to be that person. You want to send a different kind of email. You need to send an email that's actually engaging. And I want to tell you how to do just that. Hey, if we haven't met yet, I'm Bobby Klink. I'm the Harvard Law grad turned online entrepreneur behind BobbyKlink.com. And I built a multiple six-figure business selling the most boring thing ever, legal templates, via email. So I might know a thing or two about how to do this email marketing thing right. And I want to help you understand what it is that will actually make email marketing successful. And there's a lot of parts of email marketing, and a lot of people talk about different pieces of email marketing, but the reality is a lot of people are focused on the wrong part. True story. When I first was kind of going down my journey in email marketing and getting known for being in email marketing, people told me that I needed to calm down. I needed to make my emails less entertaining, at least my weekly emails, because they said, save the good stuff for your promo emails. They were literally saying, save all the good, juicy tidbits for when I was trying to sell stuff to people. I said, forget that. I'm not listening to those people. And that has been a key piece to my success. See, my weekly emails are really the thing that kind of puts everything together, brings people into my world, and they're the linchpin of my success. And they're the linchpin of my success because they aren't boring. And when I say they aren't boring, yes, some of them are wacky, some of them are crazy, but that's not the important part. The important part is I quit doing what almost everybody's doing with their weekly emails, which is this. In this week's blog post, I talk about blah, 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 blah. Now, they don't say it like that, but that's how it feels. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Or maybe they hire a copywriter who's trying to put some pizzazz in it, but it's just like putting fancy words and pizzazz without any real character about the actual person. What I'm going to tell you is something really important. The people on your email list do not need you to and do not want you to summarize your content each week. You know why? If they want to read your blog post, they're going to go read your blog post. They want to listen to your podcast, they're going to listen to your podcast. They don't need an email that puts a quick summary of it and all that, and that's what the email's about. Those kinds of emails end up in the waistband. They end up being the person who's like, oh, I'm not going to read this again. Why am I reading this again? And I think if you're honest with yourself, you'll admit that even some of like the big name people that you follow, that you love, they write emails like that and you never read them. Well, me, on the other hand, I write emails that have a story about me each week. It's some little wacky piece about my life. It could be something simple. It could be something complicated. And when you do that, it builds a deeper connection with your people. And again, an example that I can give that I love that happened just this week, one of my students who I've worked with on email and other things, she sent an email that it had an unbelievable subject line. I got gas. And then it diffused it and said, but I'm not talking about the uncomfortable time. She was literally telling a story about getting gas for her car. And it was such a great email because it was so relatable. It was so funny. It was so interesting. And it got people to actually read and get to the message and get to the point. And it also is something that now I will always remember about that student. And so will everybody else who got that email. See, that's the kind of email, that's the kind of thing that is actually going to get people's attention. And now I want to tell you why it's so important that you don't just send boring weekly emails. Because every email you send to your list is training them. You're training them of what to expect from you. And if you train them to expect you to be boring, if you train them that your emails are not going to be worth the read, that it's just going to be slogging through it, guess what happens? They learn that lesson and they stop reading. And that means when it comes time to promote, when it comes time for you to try to sell to them, they don't pay attention and they don't open those emails. See, that's why the advice that some of the people were giving me at the beginning of saying, no, save the good stuff for the promos was just bad advice. Because if my weekly emails are boring, everyone on my list would tune me out. So what you have to do and what you have to understand is do not send an email just because some guru told you to send an email every week. Now, I want you to send an email to your list each and every week. I really do. But not if that means they're going to be boring. I would rather you not send an email than send a boring email that is training your audience not to pay attention. And I'm saying that for you, not for me. I'm not on your list probably. So you sending a boring email, this is not going to affect my life, but it could hurt your business. So the key and critical point here is that every email you send week in and week out needs to be entertaining. And you might be saying, okay, great, Bobby, how do I do that? How do I make them entertaining? The first thing is you stop focusing on content. Instead, you focus on stories and stories about your life. And they don't have to be epic tales. Like I said, there was a great email from one of my students about going to get gas for her car. Some of the stories that I've told are about like little 15-second vignettes from my life, little things that happened in my day, little things that happened in my life a week ago, 2 weeks ago, even 5 years ago. Those little tidbits, those little things are what let people get to know me, but it's also entertaining because they get to kind of get a sense of who I am, what my personality is. And in the process, they get to know, like, and trust me. And that is the true key. So that's what you need to be doing. Your weekly emails and pretty much every email you send needs to be thinking about it from that perspective. How do I build that connection? How do I talk to these people and kind of make them feel like my friends? If you do that with your weekly email, you'll actually be serving your business instead of hurting your business. So my call to action to you today, stop sending boring emails. They do you no good. They actually do you harm. Instead, send fun, story-based emails that will actually get people kind of to feel, good and warm towards you and will excite them so they actually want to get them. Now, if you want some help with how to go about writing those kinds of emails, I have a free training called Killer Story-Based Emails that I created. It's actually part of my signature email marketing course, Badass Email Marketing, and you can get it absolutely free by heading to bobbyklink.com/tellmorestories. Again, bobbyklink.com/tellmorestories. You can get my killer story-based email training. It's like a video training with slides. There's a workbook. It will really help you actually start doing this process of figuring out your stories and writing emails that your list might actually want to read. If you do that, you'll be on the right course to build the business of your dreams. That's it. I'll talk to you later.